Hello children, today we are going to discuss about chapter 1, a computer system. So as you all know, a computer is a machine that works on electricity. It makes our work easier. It has many parts such as a monitor, keyboard, printer, mouse, CPU, that is the central processing unit or the brain of the computer, and a speaker. All these together form a computer system. Now, components of a computer system, they are a computer device. The devices are monitor, keyboard, CPU, etc. Next, the programs or applications which help a computer to perform a specific task. Next is user, that is you who uses a computer and instructs it to do a specific task. A computer cannot run on its own. It needs a user to help it work. Next is hardware and software. Hardware are all those parts of the computer that you can touch and see. For example, monitor, mouse, printer, keyboard, speakers. And software is a set of instructions that runs on a computer. We cannot touch a software. Now, what are instructions? Instructions are given to a computer to process raw data. That is the data that we give to the computer. A set of instructions is called a program. A set of programs is called a software. The computer hardware cannot work without a software. The special type of software which helps the computer hardware to understand the instructions given by us is known as operating system of the computer. Now the operating system helps us by running basic operations of a computer and managing the hardware. All such software are universally called system software. Now, as soon as we switch on the computer, the operating system starts loading. It checks whether all the hardware, that is the keyboard, central processing unit, monitor, printer, are connected properly to the computer or not. Now, some examples of operating systems are Mac OS 10, Windows 10, Unix, and Linux. Now let's learn about the IPO cycle, that is I for input, P for process, and O for output. Now what is an input? Input are the raw data that we give to the computer through the input devices. Now the computer processes all the data given by us. Then it gives the output or the result through the output devices. Now some basic example of input devices are keyboard and mouse, and output devices are monitor and printer. Next is central processing unit or the CPU. Now what is that? The system unit is the processing device of a computer. CPU processes data by executing instructions given by us. CPU is also known as the brain of a computer. It has three important parts. What are they? Number one is ALU or arithmetic logic unit, which performs all the mathematical and logical calculations, that is add, subtract, divide, multiplications, etc. Next is control unit. This part of CPU controls the working of all other parts of a computer. Next is memory unit. Computer memory is a part of CPU. Like we have brain to store all our informations, computer also has its memory to store all the informations in it. Now, the internal memory that a computer has is known as random access memory, or in short, RAM. The drawback of RAM is that it can store data only temporarily. It does not stay there permanently. Once the computer is switched off, all the data stored in RAM is lost. So in order to save data permanently, we need some external storage device. So some commonly used storage devices are compact disc, that is in short CD. It helps us to store data. It is small in size and round in shape. It can be easily carried along with us. Next storage device is a hard disk. Hard disk is fixed inside the computer. It has the capacity to store a large amount of data. Next is a pen drive. We all know we use pen drive. It is very small device which can store lots of data. We can easily carry it anywhere as it is very small. Now next, let's come to the data processing cycle. It shows how all the devices are linked to each other. Look at the picture. Keyboard inputs raw data, monitor. Now after input is given, it goes to the CPU. Now CPU processes the data and gives us the output with the help of the monitor. Monitor displays the output that is processed by the CPU.